STIHL Timbersports Australia's third qualifier is located in Queensland's Darling Downs, and Western Australian import Brent Rees is here to make more than just a mark.
My earliest memory of wood chopping would be when I was 15. It was in Midland and my singlet was way too small for me. I was on the winning team in Austria this year. It was an amazing feeling and that's why I hope to go back next year. The underhand's my favourite event, so hopefully I can pick up some points in that. I've been working a lot on my springboard and my single buck throughout the year.
Hands on the wood!
My favourite event would be the hot saw. It's not my best event, but I just love playing with those hot saws. They're 300cc and a lot of noise and a lot of power.
So who do you think your biggest competitor is going to be this week?
I reckon it would have to be Jamie Head. Jamie, Cal.
A few logs there for you.
I had to come over from Western Australia to compete in Queensland because we don't have one in WA this year. It's going to be tough for me over here, but I think I've got what it takes. Brent Rees, 31, WA boy, and you're watching the original extreme sport, STIHL Timbersports Australia.
In 1870, what started as a £25 bet between two Australian tree fellas in Ulverston, Tasmania, created the original extreme sport. Flash forward to 1985 in the US, STIHL created Timbersports, which in 2015 landed on Australian shores. This six-discipline, no-hold-barred racing format held on a single day of grueling competition, tests, breaks and bruises egos. Yet with a chance of Australian representative jerseys at stake, and a shot at taking on the best from around the globe in the STIHL Timbersports World Championships, axes will fly and chainsaws will scream as the men of STIHL Timbersports Australia battle their way to the top of the field and cut their place into the history books of STIHL Timbersports.
Well, Rees is coming in red hot from the west with a lot of confidence, but he's up against Queensland's best in the shape of springboard guru Josh Adamson, Danny Stabe, who's played a hand in STIHL Timbersports in the US, and young gun Mitch Argent. The field is rounded out with the bloke from the cattle country, Brody Dingle, and Jamie Head, who must start as one of the favourites with a Team World Championship bronze medal already under his belt. Here's what they're playing for. 6 athletes battle in 6 disciplines. The top time is awarded 6 points, last place 1, and 0 for a DQ, with first and second into the Australian final. First up, the springboard.
The springboard imitates an old lumberjack technique to overcome hard root wood. The athletes cut 2 pockets in a vertical log 2.7 metres high. With the help of the springboard, they climb to the top and cut through a 27 centimetre diameter log from both sides. Strength, speed and agility are needed to win.
Let's get up to speed with how we got our time to beat. Heat 1, Danny Stabe on the left and Brent Rees on the right. Wow, that's a rare miss hit straight into the slab nails, damaging both his time and the $500 axe. With 2 more drives, he sets the time to beat at 1 minute 25.38. In Heat 2, Brody Dingle is on the left, pitted against Jamie Head in an all-out Queensland synchronised swing fest. Brody takes to the drive and the best time at 1 minute 13.59. In the third and final heat, it's springboard guru Josh Adamson on the right against Mitch Argent on the left.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
It's Argent who gets the jump on Adamson, but Adamson gets the first board in with just 4 hits. He'll be aiming for 4 more for the second pocket, but it looks like 5. No, 6 hits. He might struggle to beat Dale Beam's Australian record of 50.41 set in Tasmania last round. We know Argent is a big hitter, so once he gets onto that top log, he's going to be really looking to put the big strokes in. But Josh Adamson is putting on an absolute clinic here. The 27 centimetre poplar log he's making look like a watermelon. Can he break this Australian record of 50.41 and really stamp his mark on this Queensland qualifier? He's going to look to move into the backside very soon here. He's put a lot of the work in the front side as expected. There he goes, moving on to the backside. All eyes are on Josh Adamson. He's working to break this time, 50.41, just outside at 52.16.
Josh, unbelievably quick there, mate. You're up on the top, sub 20.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that run there. Made a little mistake in my top hole, hoping to go for 4, but 6 hits, which made it deeper and more comfortable to cut on top, so it was probably a benefit.
Probably one of the best in the world at cutting the springboard, so to cut second him, yeah, wrapped with it, absolutely wrapped.
And there's our official times. Joshua Adamson living up to his reputation and taking the 6 points. Argent scoops 5 and Dingle 4. Adamson tops the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard after round 1, but with 5 rounds to go, there's plenty more on offer. Get ready to put your hands on the wood because the stock saw is coming up next.
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back. It's time to timber as we get ready for the stock saw. But first, STIHL Timbersports is all about the wood. So let's learn a little bit about it with Jackie.
During the STIHL Timbersports series, each of our athletes face multiple challenges within each discipline. One of which is the diameter of the wood, which can vary from 11 inches for the springboard right through to 19 inches for the single buck and the hot saw. Let's wish the boys luck and get back to the stage.
In the stock saw, athletes use the new MS661 CM Magnum chainsaw, available at any STIHL store. Athletes must cut 2 discs called cookies from a 40 centimetre diameter log within a 10 centimetre mark. Top competitors make 2 cuts in less than 10 seconds with the all-new STIHL MS661 CM Magnum.
First up in the stock saw, it's Argent on the left, Stabe on the right. The key to stock sawing is fast start, get the revs up and the chain moving. Too much pressure and you'll bog the saw. Too little and you'll be too slow.
Hands on the wood, get set.
It looks like Stabe was quicker to the wood. Oh no, that change wasn't good. He had a bit of a bobble at the bottom, but his technique is good and he's got the chain moving nicely. Now that's not the fastest time, but 13.28 is enough for the win. Let's see what the judges have to say though.
Cut good on stand 1, DQ on stand 2. He's cut outside his timber, he's allowed timber.
The stock saw is all about cutting your cookies within the 10 centimetre mark, and with a pace set at 13.92, Brent Rees on the left takes on springboard victor Josh Adamson. Oh, that's not the start Adamson wanted. He totally missed the top handle. Rees is quick to the wood. It's close, but Adamson is pulling away on the change. Oh no, Rees seems to be bogging on his upcut. It's neck and neck going up to the top section. Adamson wins it with 14.40. Heat 3, Jamie Head, Brody Dingle, both looking to go thin for the win. Oh, that's a great start by both the guys, probably the best we've seen all day. 2 great cookies, you'd be splitting hairs on this one. Is it going to be Head or is it going to be Dingle? It's Head by a hair.
How'd you go there?
Yeah, really good. I'm pretty sure I got 2 full discs and stayed inside the line. I was pretty nervous. I wasn't real happy with how I went in the last one. I knew I couldn't afford a DQ and a win would really help me.
In the stock saw, it's Jamie Head's expertise that took the 6 points. Dingle pulled 5 and Argent 4. On the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard, it's Adamson, Argent, Dingle and Head on 9 points apiece, with Big Gun Rees yet to fire as we head into the underhand chop.
In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to cut a felled tree down to size. Standing on a horizontal log, the athletes cut with an axe through 32 centimetres of wood. The log has to be worked from both sides. Nerves of steel are needed as the axe impacts just centimetres from the athlete's feet.
Let's get up to speed on how we got our time to beat. Danny Stabe on the left just can't match it with Josh Adamson's swing speed, as Adamson cuts a great underhand in 22.01. Dingle chalks up his handle for maximum grip. Will Adamson's time hold up?
Ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
And it's Dingle who gets the jump on head. Really powerful strokes initially. Chips are flying early. This is exciting. This is quick. Jimmy Head with a bit of work to do as Dingle turns first. Dingle putting the big powerful strokes, looking to set up the drives nice and early here. Jamie Head, a lot of work to do. But it's Brody Dingle with 21.45. Third and final heat, young gun Mitch Argent squares off with Brent Rees, who really needs the win.
3, 2, 1, go.
Not a great start for Brent Rees. Sometimes these big guys can struggle in this softer poplar wood. Too much power can cause the axe to stick like it did there for Brent. Who's going to turn first? It's Brent Rees. No, it's not. It's Mitch Argent that turns first. Big, powerful strokes by both guys. They are hitting in sync. It's beautiful to watch. Who's going to take it out? It's Argent, 22.30.
It's good to be in that top 3 and hopefully just keep picking up a few points along the way.
This Queensland field cut a tight underhand chop. Dingle took the 6 points, Adamson scooped 5 and Argent 4. Dingle's win takes him to the top with 15 points, Adamson only 1 point behind. Yet heading into the standing block, the spread from first to last becomes ever present. More action to come as our athletes go swing for swing in the standing block.
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back. Chips are about to fly in the standing block.
For the standing block, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertical log with a diameter of 30 centimetres has to be cut through from both sides. This discipline calls for both power and precision.
Heat 1, Dingle and Rees. If Rees is going to have any chance at making the grade, he needs to make the jump on Dingle.
3, 2, 1, go.
Again, Rees gets caught on the first blow. He's not going to be happy with that. Dingle looking strong, but I don't think he's got the power to match it with Rees. Who's going to turn first? It's Dingle who turns first, but Rees has put a lot more work in the front side. They're going at it, swing for swing, blow for blows. It's Dingle, it's Rees. Who's got what it takes to take it out? It's Rees, 25.43. Heat 2, Stabe v Head.
3, 2, 1, go.
Both hit the block at the same time. They're going to be looking to get 10 hits in the front, reducing the angles more as they get close to the centre. Just look at the power from Head. As he turns first, he's looking to put 8 hits in the back. Huge chips are flying out as he works the angles and sets up for the drives. This is going to be tight. Jimmy Head, 24.92. Full power and dialed in with technique. Heat 3, let's see what Mitch Argent and Josh Adamson can provide. Once again, one a lefty and one a righty. Great start from both the guys. They'll be looking for a 10 in the front and 8 or less in the back to beat Jimmy Head's time of 24.92. And it's Argent who turns first, tearing the back out of the block, pulling chips out like a hungry man at the fairground. Mitch Argent is throwing it round like a man possessed, and he takes it, 20.13. Let's have another look at it. First hit sticks, second is clean, 1 drive, 2 drives, and the third. And it's a clean sweep and 6 points for Argent.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. A few little sticks. Damaged the axe a little bit too, which is always a bit of a bugger, but I'm pretty happy with that time, which is good.
Banking 6 points, young gun Mitch Argent's standing block was incredible. Adamson wasn't far off securing the 5. This change shook up the leaderboard and creates a tie for first between Adamson and Argent. With 2 rounds to go, they have a 3-point buffer.
I've been woodchopping now for about 20 years. My earliest memory of woodchopping was probably training in the backyard with my dad and my grandfather, and then travelling around to all the local woodchopping competitions with them. My favourite event's probably the hot saw event. It's probably not my best event, but it's the one I enjoy the most. Yeah, I have my own hot saw. It's a 325cc Rotex engine. It actually used to belong to my dad when he competed in America, and he's handed it down to me now. I think the toughest opponent in the Queensland qualifier may be Brent Rees from Western Australia, but there's 3 or 4 guys from Queensland that are probably equally as tough. I think the toughest opponent in the finals will definitely be Brad DeLosa. He's had a really good last couple of years. He's got the runs on the board with winning the World Championship, so I think he's definitely the toughest. It'd mean a lot to me to make the team to go to the World Championships. I've been there before and it's a great atmosphere and probably definitely the biggest timber sports event in the world, so I would really love to get back on the team. I think it's great that timber sports have come to Australia and also Queensland. To have a qualifying round here in our home state is wonderful. Yeah, me and Brent Rees are good mates. When we're on stage we're enemies, but at the end of the day I wish him all the best and hope we both get on the team and we'll have a beer at the end of it. Yeah, the other day Brent flew in and we did a training run together. It's beneficial for me and also him when you can train with guys that are really good opposition. You always pick up a few things and learn a little bit off each other. I'm Jamie Head, I'm 29 years old, I'm from Redcliffe, Queensland, and you're watching STIHL Timbersports Australia.
Will Jamie soar ahead in the single buck? We'll find out after the break.
STIHL Timbersports, presented by Volkswagen Amarok. Tough comes from within. And STIHL. Better garden power tools.
Welcome back. 4 rounds down, 2 to go. Next up, it's the single buck.
The single buck is a massive 2-metre-long man saw. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc from a 46-centimetre log. The perfect mix of rhythm and strength are key to success.
Let's get up to speed with how we got our time to beat. Heat 1, Josh Adamson on the left, Mitch Argent on the right. They're both soaring well with noodles streaming out. Argent gets hung up, but that doesn't stop him as both cookies drop. Argent gets the nod at 27.36.
So hopefully I can get over Brody and I can get into 4th place and get to Bathurst and go from there.
Brent Rees on the left is using his saw like a man on a mission and sets the new time to beat at 28.1. Heat 3 sees Jamie Head and Danny Stabe.
2, 1, go.
Head's off to a really powerful start, but he needs to make sure that he keeps that rhythm if he's going to beat Rees's time. Now, Head is really pulling away on this one. We could have an Australian record. Just look at the way he's using every single tooth on the saw to slice through that pine. He really is the king of the single buck. This is going to be tight. And he's done it in 1868. That is a new Australian record.
It's probably my strongest event. Thought it might have been a little bit easier than that, but it's still pretty tough even at 18 seconds. It's probably the hardest event physically.
Jamie Head has found form and set a new Australian record, bagging 6 vital points. Rees lands 5 and Stabe 4. As things start to heat up, Argent leads the pack, but it's about to shift up a gear in the hot saw.
For this discipline, the ultimate power saws are called into action. Hot saws are custom chainsaws powered by full-spec motorbike or jet ski engines. Athletes have a space of only 15 centimetres to cut 3 complete discs from a 46-centimetre log. Jumping the gun or cutting over the line will result in disqualification. Strength and timing are needed to handle these awesome machines.
Heat 1 sees Danny Stabe on the right, squaring off in this hot saw duel with Brent Rees. Oh no, it looks like Stabe has failed to fire, which means all eyes are on Brent Rees. That second cookie, though, looks far from complete. He needs 3 good cookies. He's going to have to fire his saw back up here and get that final cookie completed. That's really going to hurt his time, though. 46.35. If Rees had just made a good second cut, his time would have been 8.42, not 46.35, which will hardly land him a ticket to the Australian final.
I didn't see that I cut out there and had to start the saw back up. Put me pretty far down the board now, so I don't think I'll be going to Bathurst, unfortunately, but there's always next year.
The technicians gave Stabe a restart as there were problems with the steel hot saw. Head now needs to beat Adamson's time and Argent likewise Rees's to secure their automatic spots into the Australian final. The final heat of the day, Head on the left and Argent on the right. Both men start on point, but Jimmy Head is powering through this wood. This could be an Australian record, and it is 8.55.
Jimmy Head has come through like a freight train. Jimmy, talk us through, mate. Unbelievable.
All I needed to do was get 3 clean discs, same as Mitch, and we're off to Bathurst.
Not only did Head secure the 6 points for the win, he set a new Australian hot saw record along the way. The final heat of the hot saw created a tie at the top of the Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard. Argent and Head now must battle it out in a winner-takes-all stock saw battle to crown the Queensland state champion. Both competitors' hands are firmly on the wood. This is it. Head on the left, Argent on the right. Great start from both the guys. Head looks to drop the first cookie. There it is. Coming through the second one. This is going to be close. It looks like Head's got the lead, and he takes it in 11.90. Jamie Head takes the win, giving him the Queensland State Championship. And with the locked Volkswagen Amarok leaderboard, Head and Argent have secured their places in the Australian final.
So I didn't start so well today, and I slowly pecked away and got up to the top at the end of the day, even with the tie with Mitch Argent, and then I was lucky to get a sneak ahead of him in the stock saw cut-off.
Coming here, my goal was just to get to Bathurst, and now I'm at Bathurst, so I'll sort of try and work to, get in the Aussie team and going over to Poland.
Joining them is Victoria's Lawrence O'Toole and Braden Meyer. And from Tasmania, Matthew Gurr and Cody Steers. Join us next time on STIHL Timbersports Australia as we take you to Sydney for the New South Wales qualifier, where everybody's trying to knock 5-time STIHL Timbersports champion Brad Delosa from his perch and cut their way into the STIHL Timbersports history books.